If you hold a Chinese passport and are planning to travel to the United States, stop what you are doing and watch this video first. The U.S. government is preparing some of the toughest visa measures against Chinese travelers in recent history. And this is not a rumor. Senior American officials confirmed these threats just days ago. What is coming could affect tourists, students, business travelers, and even long-term visa holders. You need to know exactly what is happening and what you should do right now. Welcome back to Immigration Updates Today. Today's update is one that millions of Chinese travelers and their families cannot afford to miss. Right now, in May 2026, the relationship between the United States and China on immigration and visa policy is at a very sensitive point. Over the past 12 months, a series of decisions made in Washington have created a new and uncertain environment for anyone traveling from China to the United States. Whether you are a tourist, a student, a business professional, or a family visitor, there are multiple layers to this story. We are going to break them down one by one so you understand exactly what is happening, who is affected, and what steps you should take to protect yourself. Section 1. The deportation dispute and the visa sanction threat. Let us start with the most urgent development, the one that broke just last week. On May 5, 2026, a senior official in the Trump administration told Reuters that China has been slowing down its cooperation on accepting deported Chinese nationals back from the United States. According to this official, after accepting roughly 3,000 deportees through charter and commercial flights in early 2025, China has significantly scaled back that cooperation over the past 6 months. The U.S. government says China refuses to provide travel documents quickly and is not approving U.S. Customs and Border Protection charter flights to land on Chinese soil. Washington has called this a violation of China's international obligations. Here is what makes this directly relevant to you as a traveler. Under a law called Section 243 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, the United States has the legal power to place what are known as visa sanctions on countries that refuse to cooperate with deportation requests. The Department of Homeland Security has repeatedly labeled China as a so-called recalcitrant country under this law. What do visa sanctions mean in practice? They can mean stricter visa requirements, expanded entry denials, higher financial guarantees for applicants, and, in the most severe cases, broad travel restrictions on entire categories of travelers. The timing of this threat matters. President Trump was scheduled to visit Beijing on May 14th and 15th of this year, and the deportation issue was expected to be raised directly with President Xi Jinping. The immigration pressure is also connected to broader trade negotiations and upcoming midterm elections in the United States. If China does not increase cooperation on deportations, the risk of formal visa sanctions becoming reality is very real. And that could affect every Chinese passport holder who wants to come to the United States. Section 2. The Student Visa Crackdown. Now let us look at a major escalation that happened in 2025 that is still affecting Chinese students today. In late May 2025, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that the United States would aggressively revoke visas held by Chinese students. He said the revocations would target those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in what the administration called critical fields. Rubio also announced that visa criteria would be revised to enhance scrutiny of all future visa applications from mainland China and Hong Kong. The State Department worked alongside the Department of Homeland Security to carry out these actions. Around the same time, U.S. embassies and consulates worldwide paused the scheduling of new visa interview slots for international students. This sent waves of anxiety through the approximately 277,000 Chinese students who were in the United States or planning to start their studies. What are the critical fields being targeted? The administration pointed to areas like artificial intelligence, advanced engineering, semiconductor research, and other technology-related disciplines. The concern from the U.S. side is the potential transfer of sensitive research and intellectual property to China's military programs. The Chinese government pushed back strongly. China's foreign ministry called the move politically discriminatory and said the U.S. was canceling visas under the pretext of ideology and national security. For Chinese students and their families, the message from Washington has been clear. Every application is now under a higher level of review. If you are a Chinese student planning to study in the United States, or if you are currently studying there, you need to speak with a qualified immigration attorney to understand your current status and your options. Section 3. The EVUS system and what Chinese visitor visa holders must know. If you are a Chinese national holding a 10-year B1, B2, or B1, B2 visitor visa, there is a separate system you must use every time you travel to the United States. It is called the Electronic Visa Update System, or EVUS. EVUS is an online enrollment that requires you to update your basic biographical and employment information before each trip. It is valid for 2 years or until your visa or passport expires, whichever comes first. If your EVUS enrollment is expired or missing, you will not be able to get a boarding pass and you will not be allowed to enter the United States. Here is an important update from late 2025. The EVUS enrollment fee was increased to $30 effective September 30th, 2025. This change was mandated under U.S. law and applies to all new enrollments made after that date. The fee is paid through the official government EVUS website. Do not wait until you are at the airport to check your EVUS status. Log in and confirm that your enrollment is current before you book any travel. This is a straightforward step, but people miss it every year and face serious problems at the gate. Section 4. Enhanced vetting at the border. Even if you have all your documents in order, a valid visa, a current EVUS enrollment, and the right travel purpose, Chinese travelers should also be aware that Customs and Border Protection officers are conducting more intensive checks at U.S. ports of entry. Official guidance has confirmed that travelers from certain countries, including those who hold visas issued before policy changes took effect, should expect increased vetting by border officers when they arrive. Officers may ask detailed questions about your travel purpose, your employment, your professional background, and your ties to organizations in China. This does not mean you will be denied entry, but it does mean you should be fully prepared. Carry all relevant documents. Know your travel itinerary. Be ready to explain your visit clearly and calmly. If you are a student, carry your enrollment documents. If you are traveling for business, have your company invitation letters and meeting schedules ready. Do not carry any documents or digital files that could create confusion or misunderstanding about your background or affiliations. Section 5. The bigger picture. It is important to understand that what is happening to Chinese travelers right now is part of a much larger pattern. The Trump administration has been using visa policy as a tool of foreign policy. Countries that do not cooperate with U.S. deportation requests risk travel restrictions. Countries linked to national security concerns face heightened scrutiny. The 2025 and early 2026 travel bans, which affected dozens of countries, showed how quickly these policies can shift. China occupies a unique and complex position in all of this. It is the United States' most significant economic and strategic rival. Immigration policy toward China is now deeply linked to trade negotiations, national security concerns, and political dynamics in Washington. That does not make travel impossible, but it does make preparation more important than ever. Practical guidance. Here is what you should do right now based on everything we have covered. First, if you are a Chinese national planning to visit the United States, check your EVUS enrollment today. Make sure it is valid. If it expires within 2 years, renew it before your trip. Remember, the fee is now $30. Second, if you are a Chinese student currently studying in the United States or planning to apply, do not make any major decisions without speaking to a qualified immigration attorney first. The rules around student visas and scrutiny criteria are changing. Get professional guidance. Third, if you are planning to travel, prepare your documents thoroughly. Have your visa, passport, EVUS confirmation, and any supporting travel documents with you and organized. Be ready for additional questions at the airport or border. Fourth, Monitor official sources. Follow updates from the U.S., embassy and consulates in China, the Department of State, and the Department of Homeland Security. Policy in this environment can move quickly. Fifth, if you believe you might be affected by any of these changes, whether because of your field of study, your professional background, or your organization affiliations, seek legal advice before you book your travel. Recap. Let us bring it all together. The United States government has warned China that visa sanctions are on the table if Beijing does not increase cooperation on accepting deported nationals. This threat, confirmed just last week, could affect Chinese travelers across all visa categories. Secretary of State Rubio launched a major crackdown on Chinese student visas in 2025, targeting those in sensitive fields and those with ties to the Chinese Communist Party. Enhanced scrutiny now applies to all future visa applications from mainland China and Hong Kong. Chinese nationals holding 10-year visitor visas must have a valid EVUS enrollment before traveling. The fee is now $30 and must be renewed every 2 years. At U.S. ports of entry, Chinese travelers should expect more detailed questioning and vetting by border officers. All of these developments are tied to broader diplomatic tensions between Washington and Beijing, and they will continue to evolve. Outro and call to action. This is a developing situation, and things can change quickly. That is exactly why this channel exists, to keep you informed with real, verified, and up-to-date immigration news. If this video helped you understand what is happening and what you should do, please give it a like. It helps this channel reach more people who need this information. Share this video with anyone you know from China who is planning to travel to the United States. This information could save them from a very difficult situation at the airport or embassy. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a critical immigration update. I will continue to follow this story closely and bring you the latest developments as they happen. Until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, and travel safe.